India Women Tour of Australia 2024 3RD One-Day International at WACA Ground Perth, Australia clinched 3-0 victory over India after career-best efforts from Annabelle Sutherland and Ashley Gardner in the third ODI. Annabelle Sutherland has struck a brilliant century to steer Australia out of trouble and set up an 83-run victory in the third and final ODI against India, securing a 3-0 series sweep. Sutherland's second ODI century rescued Australia from trouble at 4-78, after Arundhati Reddy, 4-26, had ripped through the top four when the hosts were put in to bat first in sweltering 40-degree heat at the WACA ground. The all-rounder, who became the first Australian woman to hit a one-day century batting at number 5 or lower, shared crucial stands with Ashley Gardner, 50 from 64, and Talia McGrath, 56 no from 50, as Australia posted 6-298, India opener Smriti Mandhana then struck stylish 105 of her own from 109 deliveries to give her team some hope of reeling in what would have been the second biggest chase in women's ODIs. But after she was bowled by Gardner, 5-30, in the 36th over, the off-spinner ran through India in a career-best spell, as the tourists lost 7-26 to be bowled out for 219 in 45.1 overs. Earlier, Sutherland continued her love affair with the WACA, the same ground where she hit a test double hundred against South Africa in February. The 23-year-old all-rounder had been promoted to number 5 for this series, and after 2 games dominated by the top order, she had her chance when Australia lost 4-20 in 6 overs as Reddy, who was left out of India's 11 for the first 2 ODIs, removed Georgia Volume 50, 26, Phoebe Litchfield, 25, Elise Perry, 4, and Beth Mooney, 10. Sutherland steadied via a 96-run fifth-wicket stand with Gardner, who was given 2 lives on consecutive deliveries while on 3, first dropped by Jemima Rodriguez before she overturned an LBW decision. Gardner dug her way out of her recent batting rut to post her first one-day half-century since July 2023 from 60 deliveries before holing out to the bowling of Sharma later in the same over. Sutherland meanwhile had some luck of her own, dropped on 12 and 24, but was otherwise rock solid in the scorching heat. The Victorian was on 93 with 5 balls remaining in the innings and hit Deepti Sharma for a 4 and a 6 in the next 2 deliveries to bring up her 100. Sutherland was dropped over the boundary a ball later, and while she was run out with 1 ball remaining in the innings, she had done enough, alongside her skipper McGrath in a record 122-run sixth-wicket stand, to push the Australian total close to 300. Her knock featured 9 fours and 4 sixes, Reddy's spell, which included a superb in-swinger to bowl volume 50, and another that swung in and moved away off the pitch to bamboozle Perry, were the highlights in an otherwise tough day in the field for India. Deepti went for 1-77 from her 9 overs, the third most runs conceded by an Indian in ODIs behind Priya Mishra's 1-88 and Renuka Singh's 1-78, both conceded in Brisbane on Sunday. Australia then struck early when Megan Shutt bowled Richa Ghosh, 2, but Mandana's 9th ODI century in a commanding 118-run second-wicket stand with Harleen Dayal, aided by 3 dropped catches from the hosts, had India right in the chase. It took the introduction of Alana King in the 28th over to break their partnership, as the leg spinner took a sharp one-handed catch off her own bowling to remove Dayal, 39, and Harmanpreet Kaur, 12 off 22, holed out to give Sutherland her first wicket. Mandana's innings was the left-hander at her best, as she stroked 12 fours and a 6 on her way to a century from 103 deliveries. It was her off-spinning nemesis Gardner who finally dislodged the India opener, bowling her for 105, and the all-rounder had Deepti, 0, caught behind in the same over. When Shutt had Rodriguez cramped for room and top-edging back to the bowler first ball of the next over, India had lost 3-0 to suddenly found themselves 6-189 needing 110 from 83. Australia did not get through the game entirely unscathed, with Volume 50 and Sophie Molyneux both leaving the field after awkward slips. With the hosts taking every precaution given the looming ODI tour of New Zealand, Australia will depart for Wellington on Sunday, while India will return home for white ball series against West Indies.